What goes through your mind when something like that happens at the start of the race and you see him a little uneasy? What goes through your head?
Yeah, you're a little nervous. The crowd. I think he's never really been a problem at the gate. So with that 10 post, the last one in, he's something with the crowd. The jockey told me afterwards, kind of spooked him a little bit, and then from there on out, he's more interested in the crowd than going to the gate. So hats off to the gate crew. Did a wonderful job to really stay with him and get him in there safely, so he's able to run his best race.
How impressive is it that he still accomplished what he did, considering all that he went through at the
Yeah, well, he's a special horse. He's really been a special horse since he was born. He's been a star. He's an expensive yearling, as you see, and he's just an unbelievable physical specimen. You can't fault him anywhere. He showed tremendous talent from day one, and we're just lucky to have him in our barn, really.
Talk about that burst of energy.
That
burst of energy. I mean, that's something you see every day, right?
No, I mean, it takes a special horse. As you get down to that first Saturday in May, the crop just keeps getting pared down to just that 20 that go in the gate there. And what you're looking for is a horse with a good burst of energy that looks like he can get the mile and a quarter, and he looks like he can.
You won this race 2 years ago. How much does this race mean to you?
Oh, it's a great race. Keeneland always puts on such a great meet. It's a good time of year with the nice weather and such. And to be right in the state of Kentucky with your last Derby prep, you don't have to go too far. It's appealing.
Derby's about adversity.
You're an observer of racing. Like through the cards, I'm sure you noticed the last 2 days how forward placement seems to be doing really well on dirt. Did that give you any thought about like changing his style, or is he just who he is and you ride him like what he wants to do?
Yeah, there was not much I could be able to do to change his style. He's going to place himself where he can. And then when he drew to the outside, it sort of sealed his fate to really just guide him over, and you're going to be in the rear down the backside. Fortunately, the pace was lively, and my other horse was on the lead. I didn't actually expect him to be on the lead. He was on there setting solid fractions, but looked like he was doing it okay, and it just all worked out. And Tyler really deserves a lot of credit. I mean, this horse, as you can see, wants to lean in the lane a little bit when he gets to the lead, and we saw that in the Remsen. And Tyler, only 2 starts he's ridden him. He's gotten him home straight, and he's been prepared for him, and he's just an outstanding young man that keeps getting better every year. There's definitely an Eclipse Award with his name on it soon, I'd say, with Tyler.
Him surviving adversity that way, that's something in the Derby, you face that, right? Adversity?
Yeah, I mean, now he's lightly raced, but he's seen some different things now, and like you saw, he had a little problem at the gate, he got over it, and he's finished the race with a bunch of mud on him twice now. He's been on a sloppy track. He's a little subject to the pace a bit, but the way the Derby looks, there's plenty of fast horses in there, so now we'll just have to get him in there healthy.
Well, Tyler said loading last might have been a factor in him being agitated before the race. Does it worry you if you drew?
Well, it just depends. Right here, they're positioned right next to the crowd, so I think that had more to do with it. But we'll do plenty of gate schooling at Churchill. They have a great crew like they do here at Keeneland, and I don't anticipate that being a problem.
What's the Risen Star win and what he went through today with the delay and everything and coming from behind? How much does it set him up for the Kentucky?
I'd say he's got plenty of good seasoning now. As you've seen, he was covered in dirt, and he had to navigate his way through traffic. Tyler, again, making all the right calls every pole. And once he got to the lead there, he was able to finish his race off 2 times in a row now. Get that Remsen out of his head where he was just, he basically just gave the race up with any experience. And he seems to have gotten over that.
Thanks, Chad.
What is his schedule going from here? Where do you take him and when do you
Well, I'm gonna think about that, how he comes out of the race and such. Typically I like giving him, he's handled this Keeneland track well, obviously today. He might do his first little maintenance work a couple weeks after this race here, maybe, depending on weather and other factors. And then I will get him over to Churchill. He'll have a minimum of 1 work at Churchill.
Well, you'll keep him right here for the time being.
For the time being.
Just head across the state.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's not leaving Kentucky.
Is he your best Derby prospect yet?
I'd have to say so, yeah.
What does he make?
Good chances with Good Magic, who was a 2-year-old champion, and he battled for favoritism with Justify, and Zandon battled for favoritism with Epicenter, and they ran great races, and they had no excuses when they got beat. This horse, he's probably just ahead of them the way he's marching into the Derby.
This is your 3rd Bluegrass win. Talk about that a little bit. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's such a prestigious race. When you go back through the history books and you start winning races like the Bluegrass, and more than one of them, it's humbling. You're just really honored, and it really goes to my team. I want to say 3 Bluegrasses. I think everyone that was here today was working for me at the first Bluegrass. Everyone that's here today at Keeneland working with this horse was here for the first one, and before that. So we have a team that stays with us, and it's their experience and their hours of putting on with that horse. While I'm talking to you, they're taking care of the horse right now. And without them, there's no chance this horse develops. No chance.
You said he's a star from the day he was born. Is there something at a young age that you see in a horse that's different than another horse?
Well, I wasn't around him, and I keep saying that out of school a little bit because I wasn't around him. But when he got to the yearling sale, and he was just miles ahead of any looking horse, not only at that sale, but of the whole sale season, that anyone on our team saw. And he was only a year old. I mean, he came out that way, and he was raised at a great farm with the Oxleys, who've been in the game a long time. They're Derby-winning owners. They know what they're doing. They have a good team. They bred an outstanding-looking horse. And then from yearling, he went to Dave Scanlon, who did a great job with the horse down in Ocala. He's a very experienced, learned from his father, legendary horseman, Bobby Scanlon. And then he delivered the horse to me in great shape. And great owners that stepped up and buy. It's one thing after the fact to say, oh, I could have bought that. You got to put the group together and buy this horse, and it's an organized effort. Mr. Brandt, Magner family, all their partners stepped up, and it was not easy to wrestle that horse away that night. I can tell you that. And they believed in him, and they got him, and then they only had one person to pick to give him to, and it was me and my team. So I was really beneficiary.
Ted, a question about Mr. Brandt. Since he made such a big push in the game recently, he's been famous for his female grass horses to get him to the Derby, three-wheel dirt horse.
Well, he's 1-0 on Derbies because he owned Swale. He was a partner in Swale when he won the Derby. So he's been here before. He's had the roses up on that podium before. I haven't. So he's very experienced. I've learned a lot from Mr. Brandt. We're a great team. We have a lot of great horses, dirt and turf. But yes, in recent years we've dominated the turf division. It's so nice to have a nice Derby horse and future stallion prospect for us with our team. That's what we're trying to do here.